Hello everyone, another little revision video, and today we're going to be looking at muscles. So this is just a diagram to refresh your memory. You can see the two bones, and hopefully you remember that ligaments connect bone to bone, so ligaments are bone to bone, and the tendons connect bone to muscle. So you should be able to see that in the diagram. So that's just to jog your memory. So tendons connect muscle to bone to allow muscles to move the skeleton, so that's their function. And ligaments connect bone to bone, keeps the joint nice and secure. And muscles are attached to the skeleton, so when you move the muscle, it helps pull the skeleton and create movement. So muscles and the skeleton combined make the musculoskeletal system. And we're going to just revisit the muscle types today. So there's three types: voluntary, involuntary, and cardiac. So cardiac just means the heart muscle. Remember the cardiac system and cardiovascular system, it's all to do with the heart. All muscles are made up of protein. So the way I remember this is that if you eat meat and you know we get protein from meat, that's because it's the animal's muscles you're eating. Okay? So there's a diagram of the heart. You'll hopefully know all those things that are labelled, and that'll be covered in another video. So muscle types. Muscles either work voluntary or involuntary, and we'll go through that now. So voluntary muscles, these are the ones under your control. So you can choose when to contract or relax them. So you can think, right, I want to pick up this weight and do a bicep curl. You are using your brain. That's voluntary control. You're choosing when to contract and relax those muscles to produce a movement. And they're attached to our skeleton by tendons, like we discussed earlier. And we know that when the muscle fibers contract or pull against the skeleton, that's when the movement takes place, because the muscles are pulling the skeleton into different positions and moving the bones. Voluntary muscles are sometimes called striated muscles, as it has a striate position. Look how close together they all are. So when they contract, so when the angle gets smaller, the muscle fibers get shorter and thicker. So if you think about your bicep, when you do a bicep curl, it creates your bicep gets bigger, doesn't it? And it goes into like a rounded sort of shape. And that's because the muscle fibers getting shorter and thicker. And then when you straighten your arm out and you relax it, your bicep will go smaller because it's nice and relaxed. So voluntary muscles make up 43% of men's weight and 36% of women's weight. So they're making up quite a lot of your body weight, if you think about it, just these voluntary muscles. So they're crucial for when you exercise. The muscles you control, remember, and you can train these muscles to be stronger and to work for longer without tiring. So if you look at the photos, the guy on the left, he's pretty ripped, isn't he? So he probably goes to the gym and he trains. You might train at home doing press-ups and sit-ups and things like that. And that's training your voluntary muscles. So when you do sit-ups, you're training your core muscles. When you're doing weights, you might be training your biceps and triceps or your pectoral muscles. And they're really important when you exercise. And we know that from looking at the muscle groups before. Involuntary muscles. These are ones that are not under your control. So these just work without you thinking. You don't choose when they contract or relax. They are not under your control. They're unconsciously controlled muscle contractions, okay? They do it automatically, so they contract and relax automatically. And this is because they're controlled by the involuntary nervous system to keep you alive. They're found in things like your digestive system, in the organs, circulatory and urinary systems. And basically, it saves you a job having to think about them. And we obviously need to the digestive system is working all the time to digest your food. If you had to think about it all the time, you'd never have time to do anything else in the day. So these work unconsciously They're always working and you don't think about it, they just do it, kind of thing. So the involuntary muscles in blood vessels are important for sport. Okay, so in the blood vessels, the involuntary muscles are really important. So vascular smooth muscle makes up most of the walls in blood vessels. Okay, when it contracts or relaxes, it changes the volume and pressure of the vessel, helping redistribute blood to areas where it is needed most. So we know that in sport, we need the most blood to our working muscles to give us the energy and get the oxygen so we can keep on working. So when we're doing sport and exercising, the vascular smooth muscle will contract, it will create more pressure in the vessel, pumping blood to the muscles where we need the most oxygen. And finally, we've got cardiac muscle. As we said, cardiac means the heart. So they're only found in the wall of the heart. And these are also an involuntary muscle. But we talk about these separately because they're only in the heart. We can't control when it contracts and relaxes. And obviously we know the heart is always working, always pumping blood. We don't want to have to be thinking about that all the time and having to contract and relax ourselves. So our body does it automatically for us. Regulates our heart rate and pumps blood through your heart. So it helps the blood to keep pumping through your heart and make sure our heart rate's not too high or not too low. And then when we run or do exercise, it maintains the blood pumping through the heart as well. So there we go. They're the 3 types of muscles. Hopefully that's helped remind you. You can go back through this video. You can do some research online, look at your revision guides just to brush up on your knowledge. Well done.